Let's get started. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Currently, I'm going to be explaining 5 aggregates. Yes, what are the 5 aggregates? Yes, Phassa, Vedana. 5 aggregates, and then also I would like to explain. They are relating each other. The first one, Vijnana. Vijnana. What is the meaning of Vijnana? Consciousness. Consciousness. Consciousness is called Vijnana. How many consciousness do you remember? Mind consciousness. Altogether, how many? 6. 6 consciousness. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, hand consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind also. 6 consciousness. Consciousness, relating to this consciousness are divided into 2. The first consciousness is in the mother's womb. In the mother's womb, the first consciousness of our life. Yes, the first consciousness of our life is called relinking consciousness. Relinking consciousness. Linking past life and present life. Past life and present life. That consciousness is linking past and present. That's why that is called relinking consciousness. Yes, that is the first consciousness of our life. Your life, our life. The first consciousness of our life is called relinking consciousness. Yes. And then, before we pass away, the consciousness all of our life, that is called present consciousness. Yes. Present consciousness means the whole life, present life. Our life, yes. Yes, now life. No? That is called present consciousness. No? Present consciousness. Relinking consciousness and present consciousness. 2 kinds you have to remember. Relinking consciousness means the first consciousness of our life. Present consciousness means present now. Yeah, present consciousness. Right now. Now you have consciousness. Now you are listening, my Dhamma talk, the ear consciousness. Yeah, that is present consciousness. Yeah, eye consciousness, or you are seeing at me, no? Yeah. Yes, look at me. That is also eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. Whatever consciousness you have at the present moment, that is called present consciousness. Present consciousness. Relinking consciousness and present consciousness, 2 kinds. Present consciousness are divided into 6. Present consciousness are divided into 6. No? eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. They are present consciousness. We have to understand. 6 consciousness. That they are called present consciousness. How to become present consciousness, we have to understand. We need to understand how to become present consciousness. Yes. Yeah. Yes, that is also true. And then, in order to become present consciousness, depending on Salayarana, depending on Salayarana. Depending on Salayarana, Salayarana means how many Salayarana means sense spaces, no? Sense spaces. How many sense spaces? Together how many? 12 sense spaces, no contact. 12 sense spaces. Altogether 12 sense spaces. Eye base, ear base, nose base, tongue base, body base, and mind base. Form base, sound base, and odor base, taste base, contact, tangibles, contact base, and ideas. Sound, smell, and form, sound, odor, taste, contact, ideas. Altogether, 12. Internal sense spaces are altogether 6 internal sense spaces and 6 external sense spaces. 6 internal sense spaces, 6 external sense spaces. Altogether 12 sense spaces you have to understand. Among the 12 sense spaces, in this context, you have to understand, you have to take 6 only, but you need to understand 12. You need to understand 12. Salayarana means sense spaces. Sense spaces are 12 altogether. 12 you have to understand. Depending on that Salayarana, they arise Vijnana. That Vijnana is present Vijnana, not relinquishing consciousness, not Padisandi Vijnana. Padisandi Vijnana, relinquishing consciousness. And now I would like to explain you present Vijnana only, and not in the mother's word. This is present Vijnana. How to become present Vijnana means, especially, then you have to understand, depending on your eye and form, eye consciousness you have, no? Eye consciousness you have, no? Eye consciousness is arising in you. Why do you have eye consciousness? You have to understand according to this diagram. Why do you have eye consciousness? Yes. And depending on eye, not form consciousness, eye consciousness. Depending on eye and form. Yeah. Depending on eye and form, eye consciousness arises. Eye consciousness arises. Eye consciousness is effect. Eye and forms are causes. Cause and effect only. Yes. Yes. And then Nose and odor. Consciousness arises. Rises. Arises. Ideas. Rises. In this case, you understand very well why do you have consciousness. Yeah, why do you have mind consciousness? You understand very well. Why do you have mind consciousness? Yes. Yes. Why do you have ear consciousness? Yeah. Why do you have nose consciousness? Why do you have tongue consciousness? Why do you have body consciousness? Why do you have mind consciousness? Mind and idea. Yes. What you have to understand in this connection is consciousness are not existing forever. Not existing forever. Now we are talking, and then I sit to the block. Yeah. Yes. So this no forever. No forever. Not existing forever. Because of any circumstances, any causes, depending on causes, this consciousness are arising, not automatically arising. No one creates this consciousness. No one is able to create this consciousness. This consciousness are arising because of some circumstance, because of some condition. Depending on some condition, that consciousness are arising in us. We have to understand. No one create to become this consciousness. There is no creator in this world. Everything is cause and effect. We have to understand. So, consciousness. Now you understand automatically why do we have this consciousness depending on Salayarana, and they arise Vijnana. Salayarana and Vijnana, and that explanation also you have to understand automatically. Salayaranas are matter. Consciousness are mind. Salayaranas are matter. Consciousness are mind. Matter and mind only. Nama and Rupa. Yes. Nama. What is the meaning of Nama? Mind. Rupa. Matter. Yes, you have to understand very clearly. So when you understand how to become consciousness, you understand Nama, Rupa, and Salayarana also the same. You understand automatically all of three. They are relating each other. Linking each other. So, depending on I and form, I consciousness arises. The median of three is called contact. Hasa. Hasa. The median of three. I, form, I, form, I consciousness. Altogether, how many? Three. The median of the three is called contact. Yes, that is contact. That is called eye contact. Eye contact we have to understand. Depending on ear and sound, ear consciousness arises. The median of the three is called contact. That is called ear contact. Ear contact. In the same way, ear contact and nose contact, tongue contact, body contact, and mind contact also you have to understand automatically. Feeling, Vedana also 6 contact, 6 feeling, 6 feeling. Depending on I and form, I consciousness arises. The median of 3 is called contact. The median of 3 is called contact. Depending on contact, there arises feeling. Depending on feeling, there arises craving. Craving, you have to understand craving. Depending on ear and sound, ear consciousness arises. The median of 3 is called contact. Depending on contact, there arises feeling. Depending on feeling, there arises craving. Depending on nose and odors, nose consciousness arises. The median of 3 is called contact. Depending on contact, feeling. Depending on feeling, there arises craving. And then, depending on tongue and taste, tongue consciousness arises. The median of 3 is called contact. Contact, feeling, craving. And depending on body and contact rises.
The median of 3 is called contact. Depending on contact, there arises feeling. Depending on feeling, there arises
Craving. There arises craving. And then, depending on mind and ideas.
Mind consciousness arises.
The median of
3 is called contact. Depending on contact, there arises feeling. Depending on feeling, there arises feeling.
Yes, that is relating to 5 aggregates. Now you understand this is 5 aggregates and craving altogether 6, no? And they are relating each other. If you understand this point, you are able to understand dependent origination very easily. That is the nature of our mind. The nature of our mind. Now you may understand, the nature of our mind is not automatically arising. That is also cause and effect. You may understand automatically. And that is the main point. When you study in your education, maybe you may understand some aspect. You have to study some aspect, not like this. This is according to the Buddha's teaching. According to the Buddha's teaching, why do we have consciousness? You may understand automatically. And the consciousness, there are many consciousness. Why do we have high consciousness? Now you understand very well. No? You understand exactly. You have to we have to understand. We have to say you understand exactly what the Buddha taught. What the Buddha taught. In order to understand the nature of this consciousness, that is very difficult. When you study Buddha's teaching, you may understand very easily. No? And your education, maybe you may study about this consciousness, maybe. That is different aspect, different point of view. No? Different point of view. This is according to the Buddha's teaching point of view. Okay. This is Buddhist study. You have to understand Buddhist study. Buddha's teaching. You have to understand. This is very important point. Unconsciousness. You have unconsciousness. That unconsciousness is coming from where? Sometimes you may think. This is unconsciousness. Come from where? Sometimes you may curious, no? And you may think like that. Now, when you study dependent origination, you understand automatically. This is very important. Now, when you practice meditation also, you understand very easily. You don't need to learn anymore. Concerned with this 5 aggregate, concerned with consciousness, you understand very clearly. So, this is according to diagram, dependent origination. Actually, I would like to explain you 5 aggregates. That 5 aggregate, among the 5 aggregate, consciousness. That consciousness is, in reality, that consciousness is not existing forever. That consciousness is arising and passing away. Arising and then passing away. It is changing constantly, changing constantly, changing forever. But you may not see the nature of that changing. When you practice meditation, you may see the nature of changing. Now you can see the nature of that changing. Eye consciousness is rising and then passing away. Ear consciousness also. Ear consciousness is also arising and passing away. For example, you have ear. My song and your ear. When they touch each other, depending on ear and song, ear consciousness is arising. Yes, ear consciousness is arising, and then that ear consciousness is passing away. Arising and passing away, arising and passing away. It is nature. That is nature. Arising and passing away, arising and passing away. Right now, you may not see the nature of arising and passing away of ear consciousness. When you practice meditation, you may see obviously. You may see obviously. Now you can see, you cannot see very clearly. That is very important part. So when you practice meditation, the nature of ear consciousness you will see. Ear consciousness, nose consciousness also. Nose consciousness. Nose consciousness are also arising and passing away. Yes, arising and passing away. The nature of arising and passing away is also difficult to see by your normal knowledge, by your normal eye, by your wisdom eye only. This can be seen by your wisdom eye, not normal eye. That eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, yes. That consciousness are rising and passing away. You cannot see that rising and passing away by normal eye. By normal eye, you can see this. We see this paper. Yeah, we are seeing this paper just arising only, not passing away. Not passing away. My normal eye, this is arising only, not passing away. But my wisdom eye, that is arising and passing away. Arising and passing away. Not why, but when you practice meditation, you may see now you have no practicing knowledge, practical knowledge. No practical knowledge, that's why you can't see the nature of passing away. And reality, the nature of passing away also. The nature of passing away also you have to see. Their nature is rising and passing away. For example, one of the Greek philosophers put a question. Can you jump into the same river twice? Can you jump into the same river twice? Can you jump? Yes. Can you jump into the same river twice? Yeah, river. Yes, twice. Once, twice. Can you jump into the same river? The same river twice. Could you jump? Why? You are person of which is person? The water is current. The water in the river is current. Yes, the river.
It's deep.
Yes. That is deep. Yes. Can you jump into the same river? The same river twice. The same. Why is that?
Because the river is deep.
If the river is deep, I don't mean that deep or not. Actually, the water in the river is current. That is current. Person that is going forever without stopping. That water is, yes, current water. Current water. Yes, flowing. That water is flowing. Current. That water is current. Current forever. Coughing is my hobby. Water is passing forever, flowing forever. So, and you can jump into the water of the river. First time you jump into the water of the river, and then you climb up. For the second time, you jump into the water. The first water is flowing. That is already flowing. The second time when you jump, that water was not there. Not the same water. Not the same water. That's why you can jump into the water only one time is possible. Twice is not possible. Because when you jump on the water, that water already current, already flowed, already gone. When you jump next time, there is no old water, there is new water. New water. They are changing very quickly. The water in the river is changing very quickly. That's why you are thinking, the same water. This is the same water you are thinking. Even though you are thinking the same water, not the same water. Old, new, and old are changing forever. Changing forever. Yes.
I thought.
And very deep, no? Very deep. You think that deep. That water is changing forever because of very quick changing. We can see waters on only one. We see only one water, but we can see much water. That they are rising and passing away very quick, very quick. That's why we think the same water. Actually, not the same waters. Waters are also old and new, changing forever. changing forever. We cannot see the changing waters. We cannot see. In reality, the waters are changing. In reality, our mind is also changing forever. Consciousness are also changing forever. But we can see by normal eye, by wisdom eye, this is changing forever. When you practice meditation, you may understand obviously. Right now, you can understand. Even though I'm explaining and as much as I can, you cannot understand very well. You cannot understand exactly. That's why can you jump into the same river twice? Yeah, that is right answer. Like that, mind and matters are changing forever. Mind and matters are rising and passing away. They are changing forever. But in seeing in our mind and bodies are the same mind, the same body, we are thinking so. In reality, not the same mind and not the same bodies. Bodies and minds are changing forever. Like river, the water in the river. Like the water in the river, it's changing forever. So Greek philosopher put a question. Can you jump into the same river twice? It means he gave answer himself. I cannot jump into the same river twice. It means mind and matters are arising forever like the water in the river. Like that, we have to understand. Okay, 5 aggregates. That is very important point. When you understand these 5 aggregates, you understand dependent origination. That is very helpful for you. Okay, these 5 aggregates, consciousness is arising and passing away. Mind and matter, 6 sense spaces, 12 sense spaces, contact, feeling, they are arising and passing away. We have to understand. Because of that reason, inside the diagram, it is written Dukkha Satya. Dukkha Satya means the noble truth of suffering. What is the noble truth of suffering? It is also difficult to understand. Even though I'm explaining you as much as possible, you cannot understand. But you have to accept it. Even though you don't understand, unless you understand, you have to accept it. You have to accept it. Dukkha Satya, the noble truth of suffering means arising and passing away. Because of arising and passing away, that is called the noble truth of suffering. When you practice meditation, consciousness is arising and passing away. That's why it is called noble truth of suffering. Mind and matters are arising and passing away. That's why this is called the noble truth of suffering. 5 aggregates are arising and passing away. That's why they are called the noble truth of suffering. We have to understand. The noble truth of suffering means because of arising and passing away, we call that is the noble truth of suffering. When you practice meditation, you may understand automatically. Without practicing, you may not understand. Obviously, that is very important point. Okay, 5 aggregate. 5 aggregate is the noble truth of suffering. With understanding, you have knowledge. Without understanding, you have no knowledge. When you have no knowledge, knowledge means suffering as suffering. When you have that knowledge, you don't pray for this 5 aggregate, this life. Why is that? Because you understand dukkha as dukkha. Suffering as suffering. When you understand suffering as suffering, you don't like that suffering. Why do you crave for that suffering? Because you don't understand properly. You don't understand properly, that's why you are craving for that suffering. Now, when you get understanding, you have no craving for that suffering. At the time, you have no craving, no clinging, no becoming, like that. That craving, clinging, becomings are the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering. So we are such the cause of suffering. So long as the cause of suffering, you will have suffering again. You will have suffering again. So if you don't want that suffering in the future, you need to remove the cause of suffering. You have to remove the cause of suffering. Without removing the cause of suffering, you have to get suffering in the future. In the future, you will have suffering in the future. So you have to understand suffering and the cause of suffering. So in the number 2 section, there are 5 aggregates. That 5 aggregates are the noble truth of suffering. To understand that is made one. That is really essential. Yes. And brief, mind and methods. That mind and methods are rising and passing with. That's why they are called the noble truth of suffering. When you understand the noble truth of suffering as it is, you don't crave for that 5 aggregates, the noble truth of suffering, and then you have no craving, no clinging, no becoming, know the cause of suffering. Know the cause of suffering. When you have know the cause of suffering, you will not have suffering again in the future. You are free from suffering. You attain cessation of suffering. In order to attain cessation of suffering, you need to understand reality. You need to understand reality. Reality means suffering is suffering. Suffering as suffering, the cause of suffering as the cause of suffering, cessation of suffering as cessation of suffering, the way leading to the cessation of suffering as it is now.
Is there a person who is understanding suffering as happiness?
And suffering as happiness.
Is there a person
Yes.
in our country who is understanding suffering as happiness?
Yes, many people. Many people are understanding and suffering as happiness, including you and me. We are understanding suffering as happiness. Life is happiness. Oh, we have a good family, good friends, good country. This is a happy life, enjoyable life. We think suffering as happiness.
Is it good or bad?
That is bad. In reality, that is bad. And we are not understanding the truth, not understanding the true Dharma, not understanding reality. Reality is suffering. Life is suffering. That is reality. And ultimate truth. And ultimate truth, life is suffering. That is real truth. Ultimate truth means real truth. And real truth, life is suffering. But we understand life is happiness. In reality, life is suffering. Our understanding is life is happiness. Yes. Yeah, including me. Now I'm able to explain you because of studying and reading My understanding is superficially, not penetratingly. I cannot penetrate practically. I need to practice meditation as much as possible, and then my knowledge penetrate in reality. At the times, I may understand suffering as suffering and practically, and then I have the knowledge and understanding of reality. Right now, I have no reality. I cannot attain that reality. My understanding is superficial. There is no reality, not real understanding, not practically. So we need to understand practically, not theoretically. Theoretically is not enough. That is good, but not enough. If we want to be free from all of suffering, we need practical knowledge. Practical knowledge is main important. So what I'm explaining is to understand suffering as suffering. Yes. In order to understand suffering as suffering, we need to practice meditation. We need to study Buddha's teaching. We need to practice meditation according to the knowledge. So when we practice meditation, we may understand suffering as suffering. If we understand suffering as suffering, we don't crave for that suffering again. At that time, we have no craving, no clinging, no becoming. It means know the cause of suffering. When you have the cause of suffering, you will have suffering again. Now, you understand suffering as suffering. At the time, you are removing the cause of suffering. When you're able to remove the cause of suffering, you attain cessation of suffering. Cessation of suffering. You attain cessation of suffering. When you attain cessation of suffering, stop all of suffering. Cease all of suffering. Cease me. Stop it. Stop it. CE is CE. Cease ဆိုတာ CE is CE. Cease ဆိုတာပါလေပဲပါလေ Cease ဆိုတာရပ်တန့်ပေါ့ SEC မဟုတ် CE is CE. CE is CE. Cease. CEATION cessation. CESSATION cessation. Cessation ဆိုတာရပ်တန့်ခြင်းချုပ်ငြိမ်းခြင်းဖြစ်ပြရတယ်Giving up ချုပ်သွားတာငြိမ်းသွားတာရပ်သွားတာဘာတွေချုပ်ငြိမ်းသွားတာလဲဘာတွေရပ်တန့်သွားတာလဲဒုက္ခတွေရပ်တန့်ဘာဒုက္ခမှမရှိတော့ကိုရတဲ့ဒုက္ခတွေလည်းမရှိတော့နာရတဲ့ဒုက္ခတွေလည်းမရှိတော့သိရတဲ့ဒုက္ခတွေလည်းမရှိတော့ရတာမလို့ကိုယ်ရမရတဲ့ဒုက္ခချစ်ခင်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေနဲ့ခွဲခွာတဲ့ဒုက္ခမချစ်ခင်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေနဲ့အတူတွေ့ရတဲ့ဒုက္ခဖြစ်ဒုက္ခပြစ်ဒုက္ခဘာဒုက္ခမှမရှိတော့အဲ့လိုဘာဒုက္ခမှမရှိတော့ဘဲနဲ့ချုပ်သွားတာငြိမ်းသွားတာရပ်တန့်သွားတာကို cessation of suffering အဲ့ဒီကိုကြောက်ချင်တယ်ဆိုရင်ဒုက္ခကိုဒုက္ခလို့နားလည်ကျင့်ဒုက္ခကိုဒုက္ခလို့နားလည်အောင်ကျင့်ရမယ်ဒုက္ခကိုဒုက္ခလို့နားလည်ကိုရတဲ့ပထမဦးဆုံးဘုရားစာပေကိုလေ့လာရတယ်လေ့လာပြီးရင်အဲ့ဒီအတိုင်းကျင့်အဲ့ဒီတိုင်းကျင့်ရင်တကယ်တော့ဒုက္ခသစ္စာကြီးပါလားနားလည်ပါဒုက္ခသစ္စာကြီးပါလားလို့နားလည်ပါဒုက္ခသစ္စာလို့နားလည်လိုက်တာနဲ့ဒုက္ခကိုဒုက္ခမှန်သိသွားတာနဲ့ဒုက္ခကိုဒုက္ခမှန်မှန်တိုင်းနားလည်သွားတာနဲ့ဒီဒုက္ခကြီးကိုမလို့ချင်တော့လူချင်တာကတဏှာလူချင်ရာကနေပြီးတော့တဖြည်းဖြည်းနဲ့လူချင်ပြီးရင်ဘာလို့တော့မလဲဆိုတော့ဆွဲလန်းလူချင်ရာနဲ့ဆွဲလန်းသွားရင်ဘယ်လိုလဲဥပါဒ်ဥပါဒ်ကဆွဲလန်းသွားပြီဆိုရင်ကမ္မဘဝခံနေတဲ့ကြိုးစားမရရအောင်ကြိုးစားမရရအောင်ကြိုးစား physically, verbally and mentally trying very hard that is called karma bhav. Why you are trying very hard physically, verbally, and mentally because of clinging. Why do you have that clinging? Because of craving. Because of craving. Craving, clinging, and becoming. They are relatives, no? And they are relating each other. Craving and clinging are causes. Becoming is effect. Craving and clinging control becoming. So craving, clinging, becoming, they are called the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering. Dukha. ဆင်းရဲကြောင်းမှန်တရားပေါ့ဒုက္ခရောက်ကြောင်းမှန်တရားတဏှာကလည်းဒုက္ခရောက်ကြောင်းမှန်တရားဆင်းရဲကြောင်းမှန်တရားဥပါဒဏ်ကလည်းဆင်းရဲကြောင်းမှန်တရားအဲ့တော့တဏှာရှိရင်ဆင်းရဲရှိဥပါဒဏ်ရှိရင်လည်းဆင်းရဲရှိတဏှာနဲ့ဥပါဒဏ်ကဆင်းရဲကြောင်းမှန်တရားပဲအဲ့ဒါကြောင့်သူဆင်းရဲကြောင်းမှန်တရားဖြစ်လို့ the cause of suffering the cause of suffering အဲ့တော့အဲ့တဏှာဆိုတာသူကတန်ရောစဉ်တဏှာဆိုတာတန်ရောစဉ်ကြီးရယ်ဆိုတာအဲ့ဒါကိုပြောတန်ရောစဉ်ဆိုတာတဏှာပဲတဏှာသမုဒိယတန်ရောစဉ် attachment လို့ပြောတာပြတဏှာသမုဒိယတန်ရောစဉ်အဲ့ဒါကို attachment is the root of suffering How do you understand in Burmese language? How do you understand in Burmese language? Okay, tell me. Attachment is the root of suffering. How do you understand in Burmese language?
Suffering.
Root. Two in the root. Hello. Attachment is the root of suffering. How do you understand in Burmese language? The root of suffering. Attachment, yes. Attachment is how do you understand in Burmese language? Attachment is attachment. Attachmentဆိုတာ Attachment ဆိုတာတဏှာတန်ရောစဉ်ပြောတယ်တန်ရောစဉ် Attachment, craving, they are the same. Attachment, craving, yes. That is, attachment, cravings are the same. Therefore, tanyosin. Tana tanyosin, tana tamuriya tanyosin, yogyonija. Attachment is tana tamuriya tanyosin sura. Chide, bhapchita lelu meyi. The root of suffering. Roots of life. Roots are root. Two in the root. Okay? Roots are Two in the roots. And roots are mula. Roots are mula. Mula is a Jomian Bibia. Mula is a Jomian. I Jomian be the root of suffering. Dokhaye Jom. Dokhaye Mula, Dokhaye Jomian. Dokhaye Mula. What is the root of suffering means? Attachment is the root of suffering. Everything was in her. ဒုက္ခရဲ့အကြောင်းရင်းပဲဒုက္ခရဲ့အဓိကအကြောင်းရင်းဟာသမုဒိယတန်ရုပ်စဉ်ပဲအဲ့ဒီသမုဒိယတန်ရုပ်စဉ်လေးနည်းနည်းရှိရင်နည်းနည်းဒုက္ခရောက်များများရှိရင်များများဒုက္ခရောက် ဘာမှဒုက္ခမရောက်သမီးအဖေနဲ့မေကိုမခွဲနိုင်တဲ့တန်ဝစဉ်ရှိရင်ဒုက္ခတွေရောက်ဖေကမလာသေးဘူးမေကမလာသေးဘူးဆိုပြီးတော့ဒါတွေဒုက္ခတွေရောက်အဲ့ဒါအဖေမေကိုချစ်တဲ့တန်ဝစဉ်နော်အဲ့ဒီတန်ဝစဉ်တွေရှိလေလေဒုက္ခတွေရောက်တန်ဝစဉ်တစ်ခုရှိရင်ဒုက္ခတစ်ခုတန်ဝစဉ်10ခုရှိရင်ဒုက္ခ10ခုတန်ဝစဉ်အခုတရားရှိရင်ဒုက္ခခုတရားတန်ဝစဉ်တစ်ခုမှမရှိရင်ဒုက္ခမှမရှိအဲ့တော့ attachment is the root of suffering တန်ဝစဉ်ဆိုတာဒုက္ခရဲ့ရေတောင်းမြစ်တစ်ခုဆိုကြောက်လားဆိုကြောက်
ဒီဆိုရချင်းချစ်တာတောင်း
တန်ရောစဉ်ဆိုတာ
ဒီဆိုတာအင်းညာရဲ့ဒီကြောင့်
အဲ့တော့ပြောတာ
ဟိုရှိနေဟိုရှိနေ
ဆိုရတော့ပြောတာတော့တရားတွေကဘုရားကြီးတိခါတိချာနာကြည့်ဘုရားကြီးတို့တရားတွေဘုရားကြီးတို့ရဲ့တခြင်းတွေဘုရားကြီးတို့လောကကြီးမှာဖြစ်နေရတယ်ဒီတရားတွေမှာပုံပါ
နော်
တန်ရောစဉ်ဆိုတာအဲ့ဒုက္ခရဲ့ရေတောင်းမြစ်တစ်ခုပဲအဲ့ဒါပေါ့ခုပြင်းဆိုတာအဲ့ဒါအတူတူပဲလေ attachment ဆိုတာအတူတူပဲပူလောင်တဲ့တကယ်မီးတော့ပဲနော်ဒုက္ခရဲ့မြေဖြားခံရပါတယ်ဟမ်မပူဘူးဆိုရင်တော့သူကဒုက္ခလွတ်တော့တာပေါ့နော်မပူဘူးဆိုရင်တော့ဒုက္ခမရောက်ဘူးပေါ့နော်မပူဘူးဆိုရင်သူကမပူဘူးဆိုတာပူရဲဆိုတာကတဏှာပူရဲဆိုတာတဏှာအေးရင်သူကတဏှာမဟုတ်တော့မေတ္တာပေါ့မေတ္တာဆိုရင်အေးတဏှာဆိုရင်ပူတာပေါ့အဲ့ဒါတကယ်ကိုလောကကြီးမှာဖြစ်နေတဲ့စိုးနေတဲ့တခြင်းတွေပဲဖြစ်စေလောကလူသားတွေဖြစ်နေပြက်နေတာဒီတရားထဲမှာကွက်တိဝင်တယ်ပေါ့ဒါမလို့ဘုံဘုံကအဲ့ဒီလောကကြီးနဲ့ဒီတရားနဲ့ချိန်ထိုးပြီးတော့သင်မပြတ်နိုင်တဲ့ခါကျတော့အဲ့ဒီမသိဘူးပေါ့ခုဆိုရင်သမီးခုပြောလိုက်တော့ဒါဆိုနည်းနည်းလေးတော့နားလည်သွားတယ်ပေါ့အဲ့တော့တန်ရောစဉ်ဆိုတာဒုက္ခရဲ့မြေဖြားခံရာရေတောင်းမြစ်တစ်ခုအဲ့ဒါတန်ရောစဉ်ကဒုက္ခရဲ့မြေဖြားခံရေတောင်းမြစ်တစ်ခုအဲ့ဒါတရားကိုပြောတာ attachment is the root of suffering အဲ့ဒီချင်းကိုတော့ဘာသာပြန်ပြောဒါမှမဟုတ်အဲ့ဒီချင်းကိုဘုံဘဘာသာပြန်ပြောတာအဲ့ဒီချင်းကဒီကနေလာဒီတရားတွေကနေမှအဲ့ဒီချင်းဖြစ်တာအဲ့ဒါလေးကိုဘုံဘတို့ကနားလည်သွားတဲ့အခါကျတော့ဆိုသိတယ်မမိစရာမရှိတော့ဘူးအဲ့ဒါဆိုရင်ဒီလောက်ပဲထားလိုက်နော်တနာကြီးဒီလောက်ရှိတယ်
Recording
stopped. Yeah. ဒီဘုံမတင်ပြီးပါလေ